Singer John Farnham says he is devastated by the loss of his friend, manager and greatest believer, the music promoter and radio pioneer Glenn Wheatley, who died of COVID-19 related complications aged 74. Wheatley, who was double vaccinated, had been sick for a number of weeks and passed away in Melbourne with his wife Gaynor, son Tim, and daughters Kara and Samantha by his side. Wheatley was a pioneer of the FM bandwidth and was linked to Australian music names spanning generations, from Farnham, Australian Crawl and Pseudo Echo to Delta Goodrem, but his legacy was complicated when he was sentenced to 15 months in jail for tax evasion in 2007. In 2014, the music promoter took to the stage to perform alongside some music industry greats for a tribute to the late Jim Case. Leading tributes from artists, industry figures and broadcasters on Wednesday, Farnham said he would miss Wheatley and promised to support his late friend's family. With his passing, so many people have lost a part of their lives, a Farnham family statement said. Our family is devastated at the loss of our friend. We also obviously feel for his family as well. With his passing, so many people have lost a part of their lives. Wheatley famously invested every penny he owned, and mortgaged his house, to back Farnham's Whispering Jack album in 1986, propelling the singer to stardom. The album, arguably Farnham's most famous, spent 25 weeks at the top of the Australian music charts and won 1987's ARIA Album of the Year, making the beginning of a long partnership that lasted until Wheatley's death. In a statement, Wheatley's family said he had achieved so much but had more to give. He had an enthusiasm that was unmatched and believed that anything was possible. He gave everything to support projects he believed in, whether they were ultimately successful or not. His immense passion and enthusiasm was an integral part of Glenn Wheatley, the statement said. He would leave Rod Laver Arena after a John Farnham concert, just to carry my amp into the Aspire, the Esplanade Hotel in St Kilda, son Tim said. Everything he did was for his family. He regarded his family as his greatest achievement. The Wheatley family also thanked hospital frontline workers and staff at the Epworth Hospital's intensive care unit. Wheatley started his music career playing the bass with the 1960s band The Master Apprentices before turning his attention to producing, setting up his promotion business and taking charge of the Little River Band in the mid-70s. Wheatley later convinced Farnham to join LRB as lead singer. The Master's Apprentices were among the first to share a heartfelt tribute for the promoter, who fought for higher fees and a fairer share of concert revenue after joining the band in 1968. We are deeply saddened by the passing of Glenn Wheatley, the band said in a Facebook post. Glenn would often reunite with the Master's Apprentices, dusting off his bass on special occasions, most recently the Theberton Theatre 90th Birthday Spectacular in 2018. We will miss him greatly. He has left his mark forever on Australian music. Wheatley was the creative force behind hits including Bridget, 510 Man, Think About Tomorrow Today and Because I Love You. Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews said Wheatley had made a profound contribution to Australia's music scene, and to Victoria's music industry over many decades. What I'll offer today is obviously the sincere condolences of all Victorians, particularly those who are fans of Aussie music, Mr. Andrews said. Glenn made such a big contribution to Australian music and therefore to our state, because Victoria is the capital of Australian music. So to him, we say thank you. And to all those who loved him and were close to him, we say how sorry we are that he's gone too soon. In 2007, the promoter was sentenced to 15 months in jail for tax evasion following an investigation by the Australian Taxation Office into offshore tax havens. He was convicted after pleading guilty to not paying $318,000 in tax between 1994 and 2003. He spent 10 months in jail and the remainder of his sentence in home detention. At the time, the promoter spoke of the extraordinary grief of being made the public face of the $300 million investigations and said his wife and children got him through the ordeal. The Brisbane-born promoter went on to discover and manage Delta Goodrem. Wheatley helped her to launch her debut album Innocent Eyes in 2003. The album was a success, but the pair parted ways that same year. Radio and TV executive Cherie Romaro remembered Wheatley as a friend, boss, and a collaborator for more than 35 years, who was one of the kindest, gentlest people I have ever met. I still vividly remember the day he and John came into 2DAY-FM when I was the program director. They played me You're the Voice, and we were the first to play it on air. He never forgot, more recently presenting me with a 35th anniversary copy, signed by John Farnham, she said. Ms. Romaro said Wheatley was always thinking of others and how he could get involved, including the huge fundraising efforts for farmers impacted so heavily by drought. We worked on a number of radio projects. He was so passionate and continued to have new ideas even up to just before he became ill, she said. He was a giant of the music and radio industry, but most of all I shall miss my friend. Known in radio circles for his role in setting up the first commercial FM station in Australia, Wheatley returned to the radio business in 2013, buying Sunshine Coast's 91.9 CFM and 92.7 Mix FM for $17.7 million with Oceania Capital Partners. Lee Simon, who was part of the broadcasting team at 92.3 Eon FM when it first hit the airwaves in Melbourne 42 years ago, said Wheatley's positivity and enthusiasm and support was a big driver of all of that back then, and he remained extremely humble in the many successes he had. Radio was always a passion of his, and that station, which is now known as Triple M, was an extremely exciting period for all of us, Simon said. Glenn always conducted himself as a gentleman. He was quiet but extremely enthusiastic and passionate. He had a very good eye and a very good ear for what artists needed and invested himself completely, both personally and professionally, in doing everything that was needed to provide the talent he was looking after with every opportunity to grow and succeed. Entertainment editor Richard Wilkins broke down on radio on Wednesday morning as he remembered one of the founding fathers of the Australian music industry, noting the loss of music promoter Michael Gudinski and INXS manager Chris Murphy in recent years. They'll all be haggling the hell out of each other upstairs at the moment, Wilkins, who works for Nine, the owner on this masthead, said. Wilkins said while Farnham had the voice, Wheatley had the smarts and managed the singer's career brilliantly. Glenn was such a beautiful guy, lovely. He was always so positive, he would always have a deal going, he said. Everyone spent the night ringing each other in the business last night. No one can believe he's gone, it's very sad. I'm so sorry to have lost such a dear friend to so many lovely people. Singer and producer David Campbell also extended his thoughts to Wheatley's family on social media, adding the promoter's legacy was remarkable.